A dream which was fulfilled in January 2024 when Justin Greaves became the 335th player to play Test cricket for the West Indies. Now, we sit here, 11 months later, and he has an opportunity to add to that. First of all, Justin, it's great to see you here, man. It's great to see you, man. Tell me, when I say those words and I say 335th player to play for the West Indies, what emotion is inside of you?
Very emotional, obviously, because, you know, coming up, I always wanted to play for West Indies. The history of West Indies cricket being the way it is. So for me to be 335, you know, it's a very special moment for both me and my family.
What was that actually like? I mean, we haven't spoken to you since you got your Test cap in Australia. It was such an amazing series. You guys obviously won the test match at the Gabba. But to make your debut in Adelaide, what do you remember about that moment?
Exciting. Biggest crowd I've played in front of. The nerves were there the night before. Spent some time talking to my family about it. Obviously trying to calm me down, but you know, once I got onto the field, received my cap from Craig Braffett, who I went to school with, played a lot of cricket with as well. You know, it was very special.
And then that Test win, I mean, at the Gabba, no one really would have given you guys a chance. You featured heavily, remember, in that game, both bat and ball. How do you describe that series and look back on that series now 11 months ago?
Very challenging. Obviously playing Australia in Australia is always a difficult task. We went there with pretty much a lot of unknowns in the group, and for us to come up with a win in Australia would have been pretty big for us. You know, having guys like Shamar doing as well as he did in Australia, Kavim as well, you know, toughing out some really good situations for us. You know, it's always been fun being around the group because we've played a lot of cricket together, a lot of the guys, and you know, the strengths and weaknesses, we know one another pretty well. So, you know, to gel and to come up with a win against the #1 team, I think at that time was a very big thing for us.
2024 marks 10 years that you've made since you made your first class debut, and obviously you're playing Test cricket now. Why did you have that burning desire 10 years ago and even in 2024 to play red ball cricket for the West Indies?
Just to challenge myself, just to see where I pretty much match up with, you know, the greats in the world. From the time pretty much picked up a bat in primary school cricket and stuff, it was always, you know, be the best that I can be, and you know, at some stage you want to test yourself against some of the best in the world. So that's always been it for me.
And then obviously you made your one-day international debut a couple of years ago, and you've lost your place in the team until the beginning of this year in that Australia series. What were those years like where you fell out of favour and had to try and work yourself to be back at the highest level?
My thing is, not performing, you miss your name, that's life. Obviously going back, working hard has always been my thing. It's never been an issue for me to work hard. Probably putting things in place mentally in terms of, you know, getting the mind right for when you actually get back onto the park has been one of the biggest things that I've been actually focusing on.
And speaking of performing, well, the last month has been all about Justin Greaves' performances because he comes into this series off the back of 3 back-to-back 50 over 100s in our domestic tournament, the Super 50.
3 in 3, and that is history. A remarkable feat for Justin Greaves.
It's never been done by a West Indian before. Brother, I need to know, first of all, are you a human? Like, how do you spend 100 overs across 300 overs in the span of 7 days and just mentally locked in and do well enough? I mean, what can you say about that?
Not much. For me, it's just, like I said when I was in Trinidad, putting my team first. Whatever the team requires, I'm pretty much willing to do. And obviously when I'm at cricket, switched on, but as soon as I get off the field, just try to relax as much as possible, try not to think about the game as much.
Would you say determination was the biggest driving factor for you behind getting those performances? It's one thing to get 100, but to have the drive to get 3 back-to-back 100s, I mean, what was the factor behind it?
I guess a lot of things could play into that. We have a youngish team in the Leewards. There's no Kyron Powell. Casey Carty was away on international duty. And the captain and coach was like, we need our senior batsmen to stand up. And obviously coming off last year and being one of the most senior guys in the group, you know, I pretty much put it upon myself to say, well, a lot of guys are out. So it was pretty much time for me to put my hand up.
And tell us about the celebration. What does that mean?
Celebration is I play a lot of FIFA with my nephew, and we always do the celebrations once goals score, and you know that's one of the celebrations he likes.
I like it. Show us. What is it? Show us.
Oh, just
yeah, it was very cool. You're such a private person that we often do not see you unless it's on the field. I'm telling you guys, take it from me. What do you like to do off the field to get your mind off the cricket?
I actually like to watch a lot of sports, anything but cricket. So, NBA, NFL, Formula One.
Who outside of cricket in sports world has inspired you?
I'm a big fan of Kevin Durant. Massive fan of Kevin Durant. It's just solely because he is so locked in, he's so delved into what he does as a basketballer. Off the court, has a lot of fun, but you know, once it comes to his job and once it comes to playing basketball, pretty much he's locked in. So,
what role has family played and that support system played into where you are today?
Massive. Mom and dad, my sister as well. I speak to my sister pretty much every single day, and sometimes it might just not even be cricket chat. You know, there's so much things outside of cricket. There's life outside of cricket. So, you know, she can tell when something is up with me, and you know, tries to keep the conversation as simple as possible, and you know, just to be there for me. So, mom, dad, my sister for sure.
Who has been your biggest inspiration in life?
I have to say my dad, easily, hands down.
Why?
My thing is, regardless on the situations, in terms of, you know, providing for us as a family, he has always gone to the moon and back pretty much to make sure that everyone in the household is comfortable, and you know, being around that and seeing that, you know, it has done a lot for me.
Justin, when you look back at your journey, it hasn't been the most conventional. You think about on 19 players, they often, a lot of them go into the international team. You've had to wait, you've had to work for your opportunity. How would you reflect or like to reflect on the legacy that Justin Greaves leaves behind?
Everyone's journey is different, everyone's path is different, and regardless on what you do, once you stay true to yourself and true to what you want to achieve in life, you know, pretty much the sky's the limit. And for me, to receive my cap and actually to represent the West Indies, I'm not going to say that's the be all and end all. Obviously, you want to do well. You don't want people to say, well, yeah, I want to be the next Justin Greaves and what's not. But you know, the journey, as you said, is pretty much the reward for me. You know, so I've always enjoyed the hard work, the challenges, whatever it may be, the injuries, you know, trying to break into the team when there's Jason Holders and stuff like that around. So, you know, the journey for me has always been pretty special.
And Jace is someone that has played a similar role to you, being an all-rounder, both being able to bat well and bowl well. But you've also spent a lot of time in teams with him. What has the way he's gone in international cricket done for you and your confidence in thinking it can be achieved?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with Jason, as you said, lots of cricket talk as well. And it has pretty much always been around, just make sure you prepare properly and you trust your processes as well. So going out there, you know, just be free and try to express yourself as much as possible.
I can't end this interview without asking one question. I hear everybody calling you Clatterbuck, and I've never actually found out why they call you this. What is the definition of that nickname?
Actually, Jason Holt and I, we would have played CPL, my first year in CPL 2019 with the Barbados Tridents then. There was a youngster who came from England university, so there was kind of an exchange program, and his name was Daniel Clatterbuck. I'll never forget it. And You know, he was a very, very fun guy to be around. Spent a lot of time with Jason and myself. We had a camp in Barbados, and he was my roommate. And, you know, some of the things that were done, you know, not for the camera, but, you know, it would have been pretty special. So that's how we pretty much got the name Clatterbutt.
Justin Clatterbutt Greaves. Worked hard for this opportunity. You deserve to be here. And on behalf of the West Indies, we're excited to see you express yourself.
Cheers, thank you very much.
Go well, mate. Good man.